everything about baking is preparation. So we're going to start with the pan. So about an 8.5-inch pan, cake pan. I've got some butter, and I just take a little wax paper and I really grease that pan well. Go all the way around. This is a great company cake. It's a great cake to have plain, but we're going to put a little sauce with it. And then I put a piece of parchment paper, see, in the base of the pan. You can find parchment paper in any grocery store, kitchen cookware store. And then I grease that as well with a little bit of butter. All right, so once our pan is prepared, then we can just set that aside. Now we're going to work with what goes into the cake. So the first thing we want to do is have some flour. So this is cake flour. It's a low protein flour. I have 1 1/3 cups of cake flour. I'm going to give this just a pinch of salt and baking powder. So teaspoon, tablespoon of baking powder, whatever you would like. And then the grated zest of an orange. This gives really nice flavor with this. So I just put the zest right in there with the dry ingredients. So there is the zest of an orange. I'm going to get all of that. Whoops. Okay, kind of slippery too. So I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to put this over to the side here while we work on the eggs. So we want 2 eggs, about 5 tablespoons of melted and cooled butter. Put that in a bowl. And we're going to add about 3/4 cup of sugar. And get that going. So you can either do this by hand or use a hand mixer. You want to really get that well blended with the butter. Don't be in a hurry to do this. You really want to mix this well. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to add our eggs. So we want 2 eggs for this. And I'm just going to beat them up slightly with a fork before I add them to the sugar mixture. That makes it easier for me to hold the mixer and also get the eggs in. Okay, now you add the eggs. So basically what we're doing is putting all the wet ingredients together to add to all the dry ingredients. I'm going to raise the speed on this now. When it looks nice and fluffy, that's when we're going to add some extract, almond extract to this. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to add a little almond extract. Make sure you're always using 100% pure extracts, not flavorings. Extracts have to have at least 35% oil. So this is almond extract. You only need a dab because it's pretty powerful. So I added a dab of that. Get that mixed in. All right, now you remember that mascarpone cheese we made? Okay, ready to add it. So here it is. Take a look at it again. Hey, look. Beautiful. See? And I have a cup of it here. So I'm going to add it right to my eggs. Now, mascarpone sometimes is very difficult to find. So that's why I'm giving you this lesson on how to make it. It's so easy. Just the heavy cream and the lemon, a little bit of salt, you've got it. So nothing to it. So now we want to blend that all in. This is going to give a nice added richness to this cake as well as moisture. All right, that is looking good. I'm going to turn that off, put this back in the refrigerator, and talk to you about the second tip on the berries, because these are going to have to go into the batter. But what we want to do is flour them so that they don't all sink to the bottom. So you take them, put them in a bowl. You don't want to break them up. Just lightly coat them. Okay, so we can set that aside and work with this flour. So here we have the flour and the baking powder, a little salt. We have the orange zest. I'm just going to pour this right into here. Look at that silky, silky looking batter. Okay, we don't want to lose any of that. So that's in. And now we want to give this a little twirl. Get this all well blended. This is a cake that's going to serve about 8 people. Raise that speed a little bit. And you can see now how the batter has thickened up some. All right, that looks good. And now we add the berries. So remember, they're just lightly coated with some flour. So you just put them in. I would say about a tablespoon of flour is really enough. And then I just fold them in, trying not to break them up too much. Such a nice, easy cake to make. And of course, there are many other uses for mascarpone besides using them in desserts. You can use mascarpone in savory dishes as well. It's great added to just a plain tomato sauce. Or if you want to have mascarpone spread on a nice piece of crostini and then top it with some fruit, that's also delicious. All right, so now we have this mixed. Now we're going to put it into our cake pan. Now you want to make sure that your oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. Get it all in there. And spread it evenly. I can hardly wait for this. So oven is on, 350. Give it a little tap on the counter, and in it goes. Okay, while that's baking, we're going to make the sauce. So here are those blackberries again. I'm going to put them into a little pan. And this isn't going to take very long, so we're going to add some sugar. A couple tablespoons of sugar. Okay? And over medium heat, you really want to just, they're very delicate, so you want to cook them until they start to send out their juice and they collapse a little bit. All right, this is looking pretty good. So I'm going to turn this off now. It's very saucy looking. And I'm going to let this cool down.